The fists were flying at the Ghouls Arena on Saturday night. The game devolved into an old-school Donnybrook, 568 minutes in penalties, far surpassing the NHL record for most penalty minutes in a single game.
A new sign greets customers. No dogs allowed in the mall.
Do I think it's good for businesses? I think it brings in a whole different clientele in here, and it kind of gives you that upscale feel when you have your dog with you.
What compels someone to own 2,000 Harlequin romance novels? Windsor book lover Kristen Golden isn't quite sure, but she's got many shelves in her personal library room dedicated to her massive collection of paperbacks.
You are listening to Keep Canada Weird.
Handsome Aaron Airport. We're here to keep Canada weird for our 207th time. We're recording this episode on the 1st of April. So let me just ask you the big question. Have you been April Fool's today?
I did fall for the typical, I forgot that it was April Fool's. And then as I was scrolling through, I was seeing some absurd news articles. And I was like, really? And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. It's April 1st, right? I can't believe any headline that I see at all today.
Yeah, it's the internet's a horrible place on April 1st. Sometimes you see something, you're like, I want it to be true, but it's April 1st. Yeah, I've been burned a few times. I was April Fool's. One of my kids put on my big TV, he put, I guess on YouTube, there's like a video that just shows like what the screen would look like on a broken TV. And he had that on the screen and he told me he threw a ball and hit the TV. And for a split second, I was like about to scream.
You were about to strangle him to death. And
an interesting day. I always enjoy April Fool's, but we're recording this on April Fool's Day, but most people are going to be listening to it on the lead up to Easter. Do you got any big Easter plans? Do you plan to, dive into some chocolate? Maybe have a fondue and dip strawberries in it?
Well, I'm planning on seeing you in person this Easter weekend. That's our plan, because you're coming down to my neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'm actually going to bring my beautiful girl Penny down to see her grandfather.
Gag me with a spoon.
I'm excited for it.
I'm going to tell Penny what I think of her to her face when I see her.
You wouldn't be able to say. You'll get lost in her eyes. Next thing you know, you'll be scratching the back of her neck and you'll love her half as much as I do.
I'm going to whisper into her ear, I hate you.
I would love to talk about my dog Penny, but we got to get into the weird
I'm sure
Canadian
you would.
news.
You would love to just droll on and on about precious, beautiful angel Penny,
who is shedding a little bit, but I spare you. But I'll spare you the details. We got to get into the weird Canadian news.
How interesting.
It's been a busy week in terms of weird Canadian news. We got a lot to get into. But before we can get into the stories, we got to crack open our special drinks. I hope you have some of that Cove soda left, because I do. And my special drink tonight is a regular for me. It's the ice pop flavored Cove soda. I love these. They taste like those red, white, and blue freezies if they were melted and carbonated.
Right.
It's delicious. And I'm hoping this can lasts me through the episode. But the way I drink these things, I may need a backpack full of them to get through tonight. What do you got?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I do have some Cove soda at my feet in a box here.
Okay, as a footstool, sure.
Sure, yeah. It's multi-purpose, the Cove sodas are. And I was planning on having one for the show tonight, but I decided to have one at supper time instead.
Oh, okay. Fair.
And so I did have one earlier today, so I'm not really feeling like having a Cove soda right now.
It's hard to be special twice in a row like that. So you're mixing it up.
I'm mixing it up a bit. So I'm going back to a drink that I do enjoy having on the show, especially during these days of freezing rain and cold temperatures, is a nice hot cup of decaffeinated Earl Grey tea.
Have a sip, buddy. And while you're sipping on that hot decaf tea, let's hear from a listener named Brianna who wants to share with us her special drink, and I have a feeling this is going to take us for a little bit of a ride. Here it comes.
Hello, Jordan and Aaron. My name's Brianna. I am your correspondent from Washington, down in the States, and I have a very special drink tonight that I was hoping to share with you guys. I went to my local Target. It is my birthday, and I thought it would be a fun way to celebrate to go and see if they had Cove soda, and they did. And I am really stoked to try this. This is the ice pop. All right. Smells good.
Okay, good.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't like that. I'm not saying that it's not good. I think I'm going to give this to my husband. I think he's going to like this more than me because for whatever reason, this reminds me of the medicine that I used to drink as a child. But I also have green apple, so I'm going to go try that, and hopefully I like that one better. Yeah. This is I'm sad this is my first experience having Cove soda, but I'm hopeful that the other flavors will be more to my liking.
Well,
I don't. If there was ever proof needed that we weren't a Cove Soda advertising podcast, that's it.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, especially since I'm not even drinking one right now myself. But
It's on her birthday.
and it's on her birthday. Yeah, way to go, Cove. Way to destroy somebody's birthday.
It tastes like medicine. I'm drinking the same pop. I think it's delicious. I think it's just a matter of preference. Some people don't like a really sweet drink.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but certainly I really enjoyed the taste of medicine when I was a child. So I would be happy to to taste a drink that tasted like some of my favorite medicines when I was growing up. So I think that's a good review in my, half full review here.
Yeah, you're so optimistic. Brianna did give it a second shot. I got that voicemail from her. I think she probably felt bad. And probably a half hour later, she left a second voicemail.
Hello, Jordan and Aaron. It's Brianna again. I am now going to try green apple. I feel really bad that I sent that into you and that it kind of was like a negative review of Cove, but I had to be honest. So, okay, here's green apple.
Yeah.
Love that sound. Ooh, that smells good.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that one a lot better. It's also not cold. It's room temperature. But oh my gosh, I could just picture this apple one being just so good, freezing cold. I'm gonna go put it on ice. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Round two went much better. The green apple, honestly, I haven't had that flavor of Cove.
Oh, really? It's delicious. I had it for the first time very recently because at work, tried it for the first time, and I think it might be my favorite so far.
Good. I think Brianna liked it as well. It redeemed it. The Cove redeemed themselves on her birthday. She did say she was drinking it like at room temperature, though. I think that's a part of the problem. She should try ice pop again when it's ice cold. But regardless, Brianna, we wish you a happy birthday. Thank you for sharing a special drink with us on your birthday and making it so interesting. Now, Aaron, before we get into this week's stories, I have one more thing I want to do. I want to revisit a past story. In episode 206, we heard about Louis Vuitton, the border crossing cat. When we heard that story, you, and maybe to a lesser extent I, were underwhelmed by the newsworthiness or the noteworthiness of a cat walking back and forth across the Canadian-American border. But I think you're going to like this story a bit more. We have a listener named Jessica, a correspondent of Keep Canada Weird. Listen to Jessica's experiences there.
Hi, Jordan and Aaron Airport. This is Jessica, and I'm originally from Surrey, BC, that town where Louis Vuitton is hopping the Canadian-U.S. border. I moved to Washington State about 10 years ago, and I couldn't cross during the COVID pandemic for a long time. The borders were closed for almost a year and a half. So me, like a lot of people, were missing their family on the other side of the border, and people would meet at Peace Arch Park because you can access it from the Canadian side at Surrey, BC, or the US side in Blaine, Washington. And you could, meet with your family. People would bring barbecues and games. There was usually a wedding or two. It was a really great way to still see your family, even if you couldn't cross the border. So I didn't see Louis Vuitton back then during the pandemic. So I might have to make another trip to Peace Arch Park to just see if he's around. Who knows? Maybe he'll draw his own crowds to come see him cross the border. Anyways, I love listening to you guys. Living in the US, I always rely on you guys to keep me up on all the weird Canadian things I'm missing out on south of the border. So thanks and keep it up.
So what do you think is more interesting? Louis Vuitton, the cat who walks across the border, or the people who use the border as kind of this neutral ground where the American side of the family can stand on, one side of the park, and the Canadian side of the family can stand on the other side of the park, and maybe together they can still have a barbecue or a wedding. Is that more interesting?
It is more interesting. The humans understand what the border is, so they are using the border in a certain way that they're working around the restraints of the border. The cat doesn't understand borders. It's just going back and forth. It's just roaming around the area. As much as I love cats and cat-related stories, I did take issue with the notability of this story. But, I'll say she did add a little flair to it, which was nice to hear.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I like barbecues. Barbecues are fun.
Weddings, not so much. No. I can't think of many memorable weddings I've been to. They're all kind of... Barbecue's different story. There's this weekend. You want to go to the barbecue or the wedding? What you picking?
Barbecue. And 100%. Unless they're barbecuing at the wedding, then hey, that would be nice. Good. But yeah, I love sausages, hot dogs, hamburgers, some macaroni salad tossed in there. Yeah, it's really good.
Why not? Yeah. Good. Well, let's get into it. We got a lot of weird Canadian news stories to get into. Let's take a quick break, our first break. And when we come back, we're going to hear a trio of stories related to large collections of things in unusual places. A Keep Canada Weird trope, if there ever was one. We'll get into it after a quick break. Handsome Aaron Airport. Isn't it unusual how often we come across stories that relate to large collections of things in unusual places? We've been down this road many times, and when I was putting together the stories for tonight, I went down the road a couple times myself. I'm excited to tell you about these ones. Any memorable large collections of things in unusual places stories that come to mind for you?
Okay, there was a big pile of lobsters one time that was found on the side of the road, I believe.
But a bunch of rotisserie chickens in the middle of the woods.
The rotisserie chickens in the woods that time. Yeah, that's a good one too.
I'm sure listeners out there will remember even more because there have been many. But what we have never heard is a story about too many spicy novels in one place. So let me tell you about this one. The story out of Windsor, Ontario will raise the question, how many spicy novels is too many spicy novels? Kristen Golden has spent decades collecting every single book in one specific line of romance novels, and she's built a meticulously organized library of over 2,000 of the Harlequin paperbacks. But the love affair between Kristen and these books seems to be over, and now she's looking for someone willing to take the entire lot off her hands. Here's the story of the too many spicy novels in Windsor, Ontario.
What compels someone to own 2,000 Harlequin romance novels? Windsor book lover Kristen Golden isn't quite sure, but she's got many shelves in her personal library room dedicated to her massive collection of paperbacks, accumulated over the course of 30 years.
It was kind of an unforeseen circumstance. I just got hooked on them and kept going. I just think that there's something very magical about a library, and there's something in the feel of a book, in the smell of a book, that really can't be reproduced with digital.
Golden is quick to point out that these are books from the Harlequin intrigue line. Unlike typical Harlequin fare, these stories combine romance with crime, mystery, and suspense plots. But the books are still full of lonely ladies finding true love with steely-eyed men. Golden says she got her first book when she was 12 years old. She estimates she's read about 2/3 of her collection.
I like something that is an easy read. It's nice to step away from real life and be a different person in a different setting just for a couple of hours.
Despite all the enjoyment Golden's Harlequin books have given her, she's now trying to sell her entire collection. According to Golden, it's about needing the space.
I have had some change in hobbies, and so I'd like to repurpose the room. I've been bigger into crafts over the last few years, so this room will be going towards that. And I think that someone who will appreciate the books as much as I definitely have is definitely the type of buyer that I'm looking for them.
If you're interested, you better be a Harlequin romance superfan. Golden wants to sell all the books as a single lot.
That is an unusual large collection of a very specific thing. Many people are just listening to this audio only and they don't see the video of this news report. I think we should describe the storage area. Basically, it looks like a large room in her house. This isn't like a hoarder's paradise. This is a meticulously organized library.
Yeah.
The shelves clearly were custom built to fit this specific book, and they all line up perfect. Like when you see the ends of the books, they're just, it looks like a showroom for this specific book. But there are, I think, a little over 2,000 of them. It says she collected them over 30 years. She doesn't even look 30 years old. I don't know if you've noticed that either. It's this person has dedicated a significant amount of time and likely a significant amount of money in collecting the books, building custom shelving and lighting and all this for this library. Now she's ready to get into it. I think the whole thing is strange, but fascinating.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, I'm disappointed that she's given up on it. She's put so much time and money and effort into this. And to just walk away from it all of a sudden and to be getting rid of all of them, I could see, I need to clear some space. I'm going to sell some of them or half of them. But she's selling all of them. She's like, I'm over it. I'm done. And she hasn't even read all of them. She's read, most of them maybe. But
then again, I don't know if you've ever read a romance novel. I haven't, but my understanding and what you hear about them is that they're all basically the same. So I can't imagine you'd want to read, 2,000 stories of two cops falling in love while they're trying to break the case.
Yeah, but what she should do that would be this would be time consuming and I don't know what else is going on in her life, but
she's crafting apparently.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm over it. I'm making doilies and friggin' hand towels now, so whatever. But I think it would be cool if she makes like a social media account, like a TikTok account or something, and her goal is to finish every book that she has. And so every time she finishes a book, she's making posts about the book, reviewing it, talking about it, going over the plot and kind of the characters. And that way people could come on the journey with her to try and finish every book. And then when she finishes them, when she finally gets to the end, she's read every one, then sell them. And then you'll have all these people that will be following you on social media that would be really interested in buying some of your collection.
That's a great idea. And maybe along the way, she'll fall back in love with the Harlequin intrigue series of books. It is there is an incompleteness to the whole thing. She collected them all, but having not read them, it seems like...
Yeah, it just seems unfinished.
What was the point?
Yeah, what's the point? And I think that down the road, when she gets tired of crafting and she sells her needles and her materials and everything and her 8,000 pieces of fabric or whatever she's accumulated with her new hobby, and she's going to regret selling those novels. She's going to regret
Perhaps.
it. Yeah.
If she was going to not get rid of them all, I would maybe keep the first year of them or something.
Yeah.
But...
Keep enough to hold the memory, keep 50 of them or keep 100 of them.
But maybe there's just some bad feeling attached to it or something. I don't know. Maybe there's more to this, but what I think is...
maybe it was it's the romance books or it's me ultimatum made by the husband.
Oh, there's nothing romantic about that, but it could be, She did talk about she'd like to use the books as a bit of an escape. Goes in the library, shuts the door, opens the latest Harlequin intrigue, and
we're getting to the bottom of this now. There's a lot more meat to this story now than I thought there was at the beginning. Now it's turning into a sad story, and she needs to fight back. She needs to keep her romance novels. And, her husband probably comes from a family of crafters, probably forcing this crafting hobby on her. It's like, if you want to be a part of my family, make us, I don't know what crafters make, whatever. I can't come up with examples. I don't have any. Cut a heart out of construction paper and paste it on the fridge.
It could be something like that. Maybe that interview she gave on the news was between clenched teeth because she was making a bit of a Sophie's choice between these books and her physical husband who can give her things that the books can't, although the books sure do give her a lot and have given her a lot over the 30 years that she's had them. But let's be honest here. I don't think she's going to find a buyer. Who would want to buy that large of a collection of these books? Like, for one, I get why she wants to sell it as a lot. In a perfect world, someone would buy all of it, but it's never going to happen. It's such a fringe thing, and it's such a large amount of a fringe thing. Who is going to be like, I'm looking for the complete 2,000 plus, book series that's probably awful.
Yeah. I'm looking for your worst books, please. And all of them. And I'm not going to read them, and then I'm going to sell them 30 years from now.
If it isn't someone local, you also got to deal with shipping. And shipping that many books would be astronomically priced. And sadly, I have a feeling these are going to end up in a landfill because also, like, no, I don't think there's going to be a buyer, and I don't think any library or any place would want that many of them.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay, lay it on me.
It just came to me. So I'm going back to the social media account, right? So here's the romance story and how it's going to conclude. So we have the evil husband, right? Mm-hmm. And he's forcing her to sell all of her romance novels. It's the novels or it's me. You're going to be a crafter. And so she's like, okay, sweetie, I'm going to sell them. But how I'm going to sell them is I'm going to start a social media account, a TikTok account, and then people will become interested in them and they'll want to buy them and I'll sell them that way. So he says, whatever you need to do, just do it. Sell those books. And so she starts to do that, right? She starts the account, she's spending her days featuring the books on her account and talking about them and being so interested in them and speaking about them in such an eloquent and interesting way. And another man who follows her on this social media account becomes very taken with her, the stories, the books, everything. And he can see the sadness in her that she does not want to give up these books, that for some reason she's being forced to give them up. So then he falls in love with her. He buys all of the books in one shot because he wants to hold on to them for her because he knows that one day she's going to want them back and he'll be right there with the books. So they establish kind of a connection online. They talk back and forth with the book sale. She starts to talk to him, get to know him. And then all of a sudden it's this long distance forbidden love. She goes to see him, he's got all the books there. He's like, come with me. I've got them in a beautiful library waiting for you. Move in with me. I love you. She leaves her husband, moves in with him.
Happily ever after, just like a Harlequin romance, because I think they always do end on a positive note.
Yeah.
I like it. Well done, Aaron. I think you should write a Harlequin intrigue romance. Mm-hmm. Interesting story. Yeah. I wish her all the best. If I find out whether or not she did find a buyer or a lover, we will provide an update. But let's move on to our next unusual collection of things found in Canada. And this one is a real wild one. Multiple correspondents have sent this story to us, so we got to give it our best shot. It's one we're going to have to read, or we're going to have to get someone to read. Do you got a newsboy with you?
Oh, gosh golly, a newsboy. I have a box of Cove soda here. He might be in there drinking up my last Cove sodas. Let me check.
That prick.
Oh, yeah, that's where he is. Hold on, I'll get him out here. Let me see. All right, I've got him here. 1 second.
It starts with mystery bags. That's the headline of it, or the caption or whatever.
Okay, I'm going to take my glasses off for this.
Yeah, let's get serious here.
Let's get serious. Extra, extra, read all about it. Mystery bags of Big Mac sauce washing up on Nova Scotia beach. Empty bags of Big Mac and McChicken sauce have been mysteriously washing up along the Bay of Fundy. A local resident, Karen Jenner, has been walking the shoreline for years, picking up garbage, but around 2 years ago, she started noticing something very specific showing up: McDonald's sauce bags. So far, she's collected 46 empty bags labeled with names like Big Mac sauce and McChicken sauce. It's very creative names. and scattered along the coast between Harbourville and Halls Harbor in Nova Scotia. And just to be clear, these aren't your typical fast food lover's litter. These are the industrial-sized bags used inside McDonald's kitchens to fill the sauce dispensers the cooks are using, which really deepens the mystery. So somewhere along the waste management line, something is going wrong. Karen speculates it could be a specific restaurant, a disposal company, or something else entirely. But considering how many she has been finding, she is sure it is not just a coincidence, and that's why she has been investigating the mystery. Normally, the garbage she finds is carried by ocean currents from far away, often the United States, but these bags are labeled in both English and French, which suggests they're coming from somewhere closer to home, likely New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. Karen has been in regular contact with McDonald's for the past 2 years. However, she says she usually gets polite responses to her questions by saying they'll look into it and then nothing. But now that mystery is being covered in the media. There has been a change in tune. McDonald's has said the issue hadn't reached the right people before, but now they are taking it seriously and an investigation is underway.
Dun, dun, dun. It remains an unsolved mystery at this point, but this is an interesting one. So this is washing up along the Bay of Fundy. And what it is it's not like the little McChicken sauce, as you heard in that news clip. This is like a big bag that would hold, say, 2 liters of this sauce. And that bag would be in the kitchens of the McDonald's restaurants, and they would use that to fill whatever the dispensers are that, that they're using when they're making your burgers and stuff. But why so many of them would wash up is pretty interesting. Like, it's a very specific thing to wash up en masse.
Yeah, and it's over a lengthy period of time like this is happening. So, yeah, it's got to be some kind of disconnect in the disposal process of how these things are handled. It's too bad they're empty. I mean, it would have been great to get all that free Big Mac sauce.
Yeah, when I first heard about all the Big Mac sauce washing up on shore, I was thinking, like, the water's cold. Like, would that stuff still be good? I was thinking maybe, like, cargo off a boat or something fell and it was full of McChicken sauce. I don't know if you've heard about, I don't think it's in Canada. Maybe it's in the United States. There's some beach somewhere where, like, a cargo ship sunk, and one of the pieces of cargo it had was all these Garfield telephones from like the 1980s and they still wash up. It's like Garfield laying down and you like lift up his back and it's like a touch-tone phone or whatever. I was kind of thinking it was a story like that, but this is different. Somewhere along the path from these bags going into the garbage to getting to wherever they go, landfill or recycling depot or something, they're ending up in the water and washing up in the area that this woman searches. And this woman, she's not just any old clown walking around on the waterfront. She's been covered by CBC News in the past as because she's kind of made a name for herself as just walking up and down the shore collecting garbage. She's been doing it for years, like 10 years now, just every day out there picking up garbage. So she has a really good sense of what's washing up, and she does look at it and try to figure out where it's coming from. But this Big Mac sauce, McChicken sauce bag, it's a real mystery. And I think someone should take it seriously. But it's like for McDonald's to investigate, it's pretty tricky, right? You would have to, like, since it's French and English writing on the packaging, it's probably from Canada. But where would you even start with the investigation? Like, you would have to go to all the restaurants, figure out who's taking their garbage. Then you'd have to get those companies involved to figure out where they bring the garbage and, to eventually trace it down. It's like a needle in the haystack. If they really wanted to do it, they would have to kind of like set up the restaurants, like maybe send all the restaurants in Nova Scotia blue bags, all the restaurants in New Brunswick red bags. And then we'll wait a bit and see if it's red or blue bags. And then maybe they could divide up different colors for different parts of the province and eventually trace it back. But that would take years.
That would take years. So do the bags, I wonder, only have the words McChicken sauce or Big Mac sauce on them? Like, is there any other like unique identifiers? Do they have barcodes? Do they have anything that could, if someone in head office at McDonald's could get a hold of one of these bags, scan the code on it or enter in a serial number or something and see where that bag originally started, maybe where it was supposed to end up. Maybe there's something like that they could do, but I don't know what else is on the bag.
That's true, because even if they had an expiration date or something or a lot number, and maybe they could figure out, this bag would have been one that was sold to a restaurant, between these dates, and they could figure out which restaurants ordered within those dates. I think the problem is the investigation that you would need to do to actually solve this riddle is probably not one that they're willing to spend the money on, because it would take they'd probably have to get the FBI in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, they said they're looking into it now. Finally, it's getting to the right people. We'll see, because it's been covered by the media, which is usually the thing you have to do to get anybody to do anything, is to get the media involved. And then, okay, we'll take care of it. Sorry, we ignored you, but we won't ignore whatever news station covered it. So
CBC's email, they'll jump for that. But hats off to this woman for, noticing this and holding McDonald's accountable. Apparently, based on the article, she's been writing to them or calling them or whatever for years now. And it took media, CBC specifically, covering this before it seems that McDonald's willing to do anything. But let's just play Nostradamus here. What's going to happen first? The mystery of the McDonald's Big Mac sauce bags be solved, or the lady sells 2,000 plus spicy novels? What do you think will happen first?
I think, in reality, I think neither is going to get solved.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's going to buy the books, and I don't think McDonald's is ever going to figure out why their empty bags of sauce are ending up in our oceans.
I think I agree with you there. Let's move on to our final story of large amounts of things in unusual places. This one is a bit of a stretch. I don't know if this story does fit into this segment, but the amount of penalty minutes in a hockey game recently in Newfoundland is certainly a large collection of things in a semi-unlikely place. This is a crazy story. A junior hockey playoff game in Newfoundland spun so wildly out of control that it racked up nearly 10 hours of penalties in one game. The game saw all 4 goalies ejected. It left 20 players and coaches suspended, and it's now known as perhaps the worst hockey game in Canadian history. Here's the story of the Newfoundland hockey game that went way, way wrong.
The fists were flying at the Ghouls Arena on Saturday night. With the St. John's Caps on the verge of a quarter-final sweep of the Southern Shore Breakers, the game devolved into an old-school Donnybrook, including all 4 goalies. 568 minutes in penalties, far surpassing the NHL record for most penalty minutes in a single game. The word fighting appears 20 times in the game summary, while the word misconduct appears 43 times.
Gary, this is very, very unusual. I've been involved, 4 years as president, I think 4 years maybe as past president. I've coached in the league for a couple of years.
The league issued a statement calling the conduct unacceptable and is promising severe suspensions. The game was halted early in the third period because nearly every player on the Breakers team had been kicked out. The score was recorded as a 5-2 win for the Caps and a 3-game sweep of the quarter-final series. Caps coach Steve Callahan would not do an interview, but in a statement to CBC, he blamed his opponents for all the chaos, saying the Southern Shore players decided they wanted to do anything other than play hockey. Callahan says one fan jumped into the Caps bench and that he received a death threat. Callahan says there was alcohol in the stands and that a group of about 24 young people gathered outside the Caps dressing room after the game. He says they felt trapped and had to wait 20 minutes before they could exit the building. Breakers coach Corey Brothers declined an interview, but he denied that this was a premeditated response by a team on the ropes.
Man, that's pretty disturbing. Kind of this, I don't know if the news article maybe it could have leaned on this a little bit more, but this happened at the end of a playoff series where one team, if they lost the game, they were out of the playoffs, and they were getting beaten in this game. They ended up losing 5-2. So it seems like they were kind of out of the game anyway, and out of the series anyway, as a result of losing this game. And I think that's a part of what devolved it into chaos. Maybe it's just a case of bad losers who are like, you're going to beat us at hockey? We're going to just roll around and punch you guys. And that's what happened. Some of the news clips we see there, the entire ice is just hockey players on the ground rolling around, punching each other. The refs are just hopelessly, trying to get in the middle of it. What an absolute gong show of an embarrassment.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's unfortunate. I don't know. Like hockey, it's good. I'm not going to say it's good that when a fight breaks out, but it's exciting when it happens once in a while. But if it's happening all the time, then it's like, okay, this is just complete chaos.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that when I was growing up, music and theater, we didn't.
There wasn't many fights.
Beat the tar out of each other. Like, you jumped my line on stage. I'm going to, and then we'd start beating the shit out of each other on stage and caving each other's skulls in front of an audience.
It's a junior league, so that's 16 to 21-year-olds playing on these hockey teams. So I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking, but I think this may be adjacent to the puberty problem.
It's definitely adjacent, but you have, if this is ages 16 to 21, that means you have legal adults fighting teenagers.
But not everyone was ejected. Could it have been everyone who is 19 and under were acting a fool, and the 20 and 21-year-olds were like, come on, guys.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's checking ID when they're about to throw a punch at you.
That's
Before you hit me, let me see your ID.
Yeah.
Okay, you're good. Smash away.
That is an interesting caveat, though, because you would have adults, in essence, fighting children, likely in this case.
Yeah, legally. I don't know. It's such an accepted part of the culture with hockey now. I find it a little distressing because you have children that play hockey, young children that are watching these games and seeing people that they look up to resort to violence over a game.
Yeah.
And it teaches them that it's okay.
That's a part of it.
Do
yeah.
that. Yeah.
It is strange, but I have a feeling you wouldn't have a whole lot of friends if you're on the hockey team and things get heated and you try to have someone charged with assault.
No, you're not making friends that way.
One other thing, for hardcore Keep Canada Weird listeners may have put this together, but the team that won this game, the St. John Capitals, they were covered in a past Keep Canada Weird episode because we did an episode of the Keep Canada Remember series where we looked back at someone we described as like the biggest idiot in Canada. He was the hockey heckler, who is a guy, his name's Corey Sims, and he would go to the St. John Capitals games and just rant and rave like an absolute lunatic. We did an episode on him, but this is that same hockey league and that same team. Pretty interesting. And actually, that was also a playoff thing because if you remember, the St. John Capitals had to forfeit a hockey playoff thing because they were refusing to play in front of this heckler, Corey Sims.
Yeah. Well, the world keeps turning in Newfoundland hockey, I guess. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah, it is what it is. Well, let's get away from stories related to large collections of things. Let's take our second and final break. When we get back, we're going to hear 2 stories of consumer complaints, and I promise you, these are truly weird Canadian consumer complaint stories. Handsome Aaron Airport. We're about to talk dogs in the context of a consumer complaint. A mall in Montreal tried to be welcoming to dog owners, letting people bring their dogs inside while they shopped. But after a growing number of animal waste issues, management has banned dogs entirely, and the blowback has come quick and it's come severe. Here's the story of the Montreal mall that dared ban dogs.
Arriving at Royal Mount, a new sign greets customers. No dogs, except service dogs allowed in the mall.
People come here because they want to bring their dog, especially in the winter when it's cold and there's nowhere to go. And do I think it's good for businesses? I think it brings in a whole different clientele in here, and it kind of gives you that upscale feel when you have your dog with you.
I think it's a terrible decision. I literally brought my dog 3 times a week.
Lauren Lieberman's videos of her dog Charlie at Royal Mount have earned tens of thousands of views on social media. She says the mall could do more to keep dog lovers' business.
If you're going to market yourself as a dog-friendly mall, then do the things to keep it dog-friendly. Put an indoor relief center.
An indoor relief center for dogs, like airports have, because it seems not all visitors are picking up after their pet.
You need to take care of your animal's poop, you need to make sure of that. And if that's taken care of, I think it's pretty fair.
It's the humans' fault because me too, I have a dog, and like they can do their business outside of the mall and then they can bring them in. And if anything, that's a mistake too. I mean, it's not the dog's fault if they're going to pee or poo. They just can clean it afterwards.
In a statement, Royal Mount says it's committed to a clean, safe environment and that a ban wasn't an easy decision. Despite their maintenance teams working daily to stay ahead of the problem, Royal Mount says the well-being of the human clients takes priority.
I think it's the most terrible decision.
Royal Mount adds they will continue to evaluate the situation to ensure the best environment for all.
Mall management quite literally stepped in it. I think their first mistake was opening the doors to dogs in a high-end mall. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna open the doors, you got to stick with it because you're just gonna piss people off when you shut them down.
Yeah, so they actively were advertising, hey, you can bring your dogs here, right? Is that what they were doing?
According to the people who were interviewed there, they made it seem like the mall was positioning themselves as like a dog-friendly mall. And this is a high-end mall. I looked at some photos of it. It has like a Gucci store, and it's not your run-of-the-mill mall. It's kind of like high-end. So they were probably thinking like these rich people with like a little dog in their purse or something. But as we see in the video, it's just like a bunch of golden retrievers running around and stuff.
Yeah, crapping everywhere. Yeah, so because normally I don't see dogs in the malls that I go to. Every once in a blue moon, you see maybe it's a service dog or something to that effect. But people usually leave them in their cars with the windows rolled down a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was kind of surprised at this story. And it's like, okay, they were actively advertising, yeah, you can bring your dog here. Now, I forget we said that. No, mistake. Huge mistake.
Not that kind of dog. Yeah. I think it was probably a case of, they were probably comfortable with the idea of small dogs coming in, but larger dogs, it's a whole different scene. And then also, like, if the dogs come in the mall, that's one thing. But if they actually go in the stores around the merchandise, you get, dog hair just in the air. Dogs are going to pee all over the place. And dogs love peeing and smelling pee.
No, they're obsessed with pee. Yeah, it's crazy. But there are people who are also, like, I love dogs. I know
Thank you.
What?
Thank you, because I have one, and I'm trying to spread the word.
Yeah. I do love dogs. I take issue with Penny over a number of different things, but I do love dogs in general. However, there are people who are afraid of dogs. And when they go to the mall, if there's a lot of dogs around, it becomes a place that they can't really go because that is a fairly common phobia. So I'm not saying that you should be afraid of dogs. I'm just saying there are people who are afraid of dogs that then won't be able to go to that mall.
Yeah. I like the idea of having a mall that's welcoming to dogs, but I just feel like, is that something a mall should do? Why do they want to go there? It just seems like it's a lose-lose for the mall.
It is a lose-lose. It's great to open up certain kinds of businesses to specific pets. Like there are cat cafes, there are dog cafes, there are dog parks, there are
like a pet store should be okay with dogs coming in.
Oh yeah. Dogs are brought into the pet store I go to all the time. But so yeah, when you have a small business that is like, yeah, we are pet friendly here. We want to encourage people who love dogs to come and buy our products and shop here and bring their dogs. And if you don't like dogs, don't come. And that's okay. But a mall is a very general public place. So the entire general public goes there to buy things. And to allow dogs then starts to get a very difficult line to walk, I think.
Yeah, there's a reason why places like this generally don't invite dogs in. And it's like a janitor in the mall They're going to deal with the odd spill and stuff, but they're not walking around cleaning up dog pee and poop. And I don't want to be the guy who agrees with them all banning dogs, but I just think the way, like, I know enough about people to know that if you allow dogs in a mall, there are people who are going to overdo it and ruin it for everyone. And it seems like that's what's happened in Montreal. And this mall is paying the price for being willing to entertain being a dog-friendly mall. But I think they're going to hold true with it. They've done it. They're on the news already. I think dogs are done at that Montreal mall.
Yeah, well, we finally answered the age-old question tonight of who let the dogs out. It was this mall.
It was the Mount Royal Mall. We got another good one here. Another fantastic consumer complaint. And this is one where you and I get to be judge and jury. I like these sorts of stories. I'll give the newsboy a break. I'll read this one. This is going to cover a legal case, so there's a little bit of back and forth, but I think we'll be able to clearly understand both sides of this issue and what their argument is. So pay attention, especially if you have a bank account, because this involves a bank saying they're not responsible for a significant amount of lost money. Listen to this. The headline is CIBC Bank denies liability after $343,000 were sent to the wrong account due to a clerical error. One of Canada's biggest banks is being sued after over $340,000 was accidentally sent to the wrong account and was then quickly transferred to international accounts. A Winnipeg law firm says it was handling a real estate deal and was expecting the $340,000 to land in its trust account, which was held by CIBC. But after a few days without the money showing up, they checked in with the bank and got some concerning news. According to the bank, the funds were deposited successfully days ago. After a basic review of the transaction, it was learned that the law firm entered the wrong branch number for their account, and by the time anyone realized it, most of the money was already gone. According to court filings, whoever received the money didn't hesitate. Within days, large chunks were wired out of the account. About $150,000 was sent to a bank in Morocco. Another $120,000 was sent to a bank in the United Arab Emirates. And then the next day, $25,000 more was sent to the UAE. By the time the mistake was noticed and caught, the account had less than $5,000 left in it. And thus enters the consumer complaint. The law firm is suing now, arguing that the bank should have caught the mistake before they released the money into the account. But the bank says it wasn't their problem, as they followed their own rules and processed the transfer using the account numbers the law firm provided, and that they aren't responsible if the numbers pointed them to deposit to the wrong place. The law firm feels that the bank should have noticed that the name on the account didn't match the name on their deposit instructions, but that was an argument that CIBC says is irrelevant, as under current payment laws, banks aren't required to make sure the account name matches the account number. The money simply goes to where the number says to go. The bank also says it did everything it could and tried to recover the funds. It sent recalls, it froze the account, and made several attempts to contact the holder of the account who received the money, but nothing worked. As far as the real estate deal, it still went through after replacement funds of $343,000 were sent, but the original $343,000 that stands at the center of the legal fight, no one knows who's actually responsible for it at this point.
Wow.
So that's a doozy. You follow all that?
I followed most of it. I did doze off for a bit there, and I went and made a sandwich and came back. But
yeah, had a cove with the newsboy. You're like, newsboy?
Yeah, let's go and party, newsboy. And then we got into a hockey fight.
But in essence, someone was buying a house. The money gets sent to the law firm to go into some trust account. The law firm used the wrong branch number. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with banking, there's kind of three numbers for your account. One is your account number. One is your bank number, which tells people, is a TD Bank, BMO, CIBC. And the third is a branch or transit number. And that tells the bank which actual branch your account is based in. So they sent the law firm provided the wrong branch number. So as luck would have it, this $343,000 was sent to another CIBC account with the same account number, but with the wrong branch number, and it just so happened to be sent into the type of person's account who would quickly take that money and send it to Morocco and the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, what are the chances that it goes into then at that point in time a random account?
Oh yeah.
And this account happens to be somebody who knows exactly what to do with mistaken money that gets deposited into their account, and they happen to have other bank accounts in other parts of the world. So they're like, we just got almost $400,000 accidentally deposited into our account. Get it into our other accounts overseas now, and then we'll be able to keep it.
Yeah, and it seems like it worked because the bank shut down that account. There was like $5,000 left in it. The bank froze the account and have been trying to reach the account holder and their representatives, as it's described in the court documents, and they haven't even been able to get in touch with this person. So whoever owns the account may not even be in the country. So this money, for all intents and purposes, is long gone. The law firms, I think their best argument against the bank is that the deposit instructions had the account number, the bank number, the branch number, and also the account holder's name, which would be like, law firm, trust or whatever. But what the bank is saying is we don't even look at the account holder's name, so we're not going to catch that. We did everything we were supposed to do. We did what you told us to do. It's on you. So it's going to be the law firm and the bank pointing fingers at each other. Whose side are you on in this? Who should pay the $343? Because someone's going to have to.
Someone's going to have to. I mean, at my job, I set up a lot of direct deposits. We pay a lot of different vendors and different people through direct deposit. And I always check the name to make sure that it's matching the person who I'm planning to send a direct deposit to when I'm setting somebody up. And so I just do that on my own accord, though. There was no specific rule that we have to follow to say we must check the name. But I don't really know what they're going to do here, because normally I would say, because if I got sent money by accident into my bank account, I'm not touching it. I know I've got to give it back. I know they're going to be contacting me and saying, we're taking that back out of your account, and then it'll be gone. So I would just let it sit there. But these people...
And hope no one ever calls.
Yeah, but these people rushed it overseas into other accounts, and then they're just not returning the calls. So what do you do?
Yeah, so obviously the person whose account it went into is like a nasty person to do that, but they're not at fault for it. Someone put that money in their account, so I don't think they should be on the hook, unless maybe there could be charges laid against them. I don't know what they would be.
Yeah, I'm sure there could be, because they knew that it's not their money, and then they
but could that be fraud?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know if it could.
At least in the ballpark of fraud, but I would imagine the bank would have to own up to it and just have their insurance cover it.
You would think. But then again, the law firm, which deals with large sums of money for real estate deals and stuff, they should also have insurance.
Somebody's insurance will have to pay this. So it's got to be decided if it's going to be the law firm's insurance or if it's going to be the bank's insurance.
Yeah. Who it isn't going to be is the person buying and selling the house. It's clearly not theirs. And if this doesn't get settled, it's going to be that person suing both the bank and the law firm. Mm-hmm. And if something like that happened, I imagine I could see a judge making a case for the bank and the law firm going 50-50 on it.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
But then again, it's like the bank followed their own rules. And like they said, they don't need to look. There are these kind of payment processing rules in Canada, and the bank followed them, and it didn't require them to match up the account holder's name. So they have a really strong case of we're not paying it and it's not our fault. Ultimately, the law firm is the one that put the wrong number there.
Yeah, I mean, the more we talk about it, the more it seems that the law firm is going to have to pay up on this one, whether it's them paying out of pocket or they are. Whoops. Oh dear, are you okay?
Sorry, I'm good now. I just threw my phone
No,
against
I just thought
my
you were getting
stomach.
really upset over this story.
I want the money. I do want someone to put
You must be
343.
refunded that money. You know.
If so, I don't know, 343,000. I don't think that's enough for me to just like leave the country for Morocco or the United Arab Emirates. But if they put like 3.4 million, yeah, you probably would.
But that person might not even live.
That's what I'm thinking. It was probably someone
in Canada. You
Yeah, it
know,
was
they probably are just sitting on a beach somewhere, looking at the account and being like, "Oh
shit!
I just got a notification that I just got $340,000 dropped into that whatever account that I haven't touched in 20 years. I'm gonna zip that out of there real quick."
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. But if anyone out there has any opinions on who should be paying this money, or if you have any other stories along these lines of money showing up in your account unexpectedly, because I have heard of people getting like with e-transfer. If I go to e-transfer you money, Handsome Aaron Airport, and I put like Handsome Aaron Airport with 2 T's at gmail.com and I send it to that person, and that's not you. You know, that money can just go in someone else's account, and, you know, I'm not going to go after you for it. I guess I'd have to email them and be like, can I have my money back? Like, that probably happens all the time. I'd be interested to hear from any listeners who have any consumer complaints related to money going into wrong bank accounts. Go to thecanadiangothic.com/contact. Let us know your story about that, or if you want to give any feedback or talk about anything we discussed tonight, we'd like to hear from you about that as well. Again, that's thecanadiangothic.com/contact. And if your voice is aired on the show, like many voices were tonight, you qualify for a free swag pack that will get sent to you. And if it takes a little while, don't sweat it like Travis did. Here's a voicemail I just got from him. Let me respond to it tonight.
Hello, Jordan and Aaron. This is Travis from Sydney, Nova Scotia, otherwise known as your local juice man. Still on the fight trying to get Scottsburn to reopen. I was featured in your 200th episode, and I claimed in my swag pack, but not seem to have received it in the mail. I just wanted to give you guys a shout and just see what's going on. I think Jordan's still waiting for his pretty pink envelopes, maybe. Just reaching out. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Keep Canada weird.
Not waiting for pink envelopes. I switched from the hot pink swag pack to what I call turquoise thank you packs. I have turquoise packs. What happened was I do the swag pack mail, usually once a month. So like every 4 episodes or so. So Travis, your name is on a pile of envelopes on my desk here that will get sent out very soon. What delayed me was I was away for a little bit in Mexico, as discussed in episode 206, as well as I was waiting for a refill on stickers. But everything is sorted out now, and I got a whole bunch of mail going out this weekend. So if you're waiting for stickers, don't worry, they're coming. And if you're inspired to get a swag pack in a turquoise envelope, go to thecanadiangothic.com/contact and sound off.
Yeah, just tell us whatever. At this point in time, we'll just hear whatever.
Yeah, we're open.
It doesn't
what?
have to be about any of the stories. It doesn't have to be related to anything weird in Canada. Just, you got something to say? Say it, whatever.
Here's one. We got a voicemail from Sarah. Let's see if we can get her some stickers.
Hi, Jordan and Aaron. This is Sarah from Halifax. I've called in before. I just wanted to leave a comment about dogs and cats. I love hearing about your dog and Aaron's cat. I, too, have a sweet little girl named Penny. She is 14 years old, and she's a wiener dog, a dachshund. She's turning a little more cranky than sweet, but I just want to say Penny dogs. We call our dog Penny Dog. Penny is the best name for a dog. I approve. I think that's so adorable, and I love hearing about your pets. Thanks. Have a great day.
So she has a wiener dog, or the hot dog. So those are those like long ones, the long thin ones. And at 14 years old, yeah, her Penny is a cranky old thing. Her Penny's seen some things.
Well, the question is, because, I mean, ultimately my issue is not with Penny herself.
Mm-hmm.
My issues with Penny's owner, who elevates Penny above all other animals and most likely above all other human beings as well.
Well, that part's obvious.
Yeah. And so My question to you now, we had Sarah call in here. Who's got the better penny? Sarah's penny or Jordan's penny?
I'd say the two pennies show up at the dog park, and we just let them go wild and see who comes out on top. Maybe that wouldn't be a fair.
You want them to resort to violence to...
That's how dogs settle
This is a
disputes.
hockey game in Newfoundland now, is it?
Yeah. No, I think they're all sweet. You know, those hot dogs, the wiener dogs, those things are adorable. I've never touched one, but I would like, where they're so long, I would like to pet right like from the back of their head right to the end of their, like right to their butt, I guess.
Right. Oh, okay. Hold on.
I would like to pet that whole area.
Back it up a bit here, pal. Take it easy. All right. You're crossing lines. It's getting out of hand. Let's keep it PG.
Well, and I think that dachshund, I think they like to like roll on their back and open up their belly too, because they, dogs like getting a scratch on the belly.
Pal.
They got so much more.
You're going crazy here.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
It's getting disgusting. The kind of language that you're using. I don't think any of our listeners appreciate it. We're talking about people's pets here.
All right.
So yeah,
I think they're both great. I think Penny's a great name for a dog. She calls hers Penny Dog. I call mine Pen Pen a lot. Or you know what? This is cheesy. I call her Pretty Girl.
Oh, you call her Pretty Girl.
What are you doing there, Pretty Girl?
Oh, wow. Pretty Girl. Wow. Okay.
What do you call Ken?
What are you doing there, Pretty Girl? Yeah. She's like, well, I'm just a dog. Just back off, man. That's what she's saying.
You just call Ken, you call him Tiggs? Tigger?
I call him...
Kenny Boy?
I call him Ken. I call him Tiggs. I call him Mr. Tiggs.
Mm-hmm.
I call him Buddy.
Okay. What's up, buddy? Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
With Penny, I'm like, come here, Angel. I call her Angel, Pretty Girl, Pen Pen.
I know what you call her. Yeah, I know the whole laundry list of what you call Penny.
I look forward to this weekend when I come down to see you, because I'm bringing Penny, and on Saturday night, you're going to get to see it firsthand. I'm going to kiss her right in front of you.
Yeah, well, I've been in the same room as Penny before. We've gotten along just fine, but we will. Yeah, it's the first time I'm seeing Penny since the heat has really been turned up in our feud. But it's great that Sarah called in about her pet. Anybody else who wants to call in, tell us about their pet. We'd be happy to hear that.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
We did like the romance call-ins. Maybe we should do the pet call-ins. Call in. I would like listeners of Keep Canada Weird to go to thecanadiangothic.com/contact and leave us a short message that's just kind of like a profile.
Yeah.
Tell us your animal's name, what type of animal they are, and what makes them special.
And what you call them, what their nicknames are, their pet names for your pets. Like we know what Jordan calls Penny, and I said a few things I call Ken, but yeah, let's hear what you call your special pet when you are in the same room as us.
So name of pet, like legal name of pet, type of animal, what makes them special, and what do you call them? Those 4 items.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I think we've been through enough. We've been through a lot tonight. We kept Canada weird. After 207 times, we're actually getting good at this. We did it tonight, Handsome Aaron Airport. Fist bump.
Fist bump. Kapow. Kapow.
Handsome Aaron Airport. Until next time.
Jordan, bus stop, backhoe, special angel Bonaparte.
Until next time.
Until next time.
I got a couple thousand spicy romance novels that are full of the same sex scene and odd, steamy situations that I got to read. So sorry I can't chat all night.
Yeah. And Jordan, until next time, I'll be seeing you Saturday. Most importantly, I'll be seeing Penny, where again, I will pet her, I will hug her, and in a very soft, whispery voice, I will into her ear say, I can't stand you.
I want to thank you for helping Aaron and I fulfill our mission to keep Canada weird. Now, if any one of you listening want to get more involved in what we're doing, we need all the correspondence we can get. So if something weird happens in your area, or if you have any thoughts on anything we discussed tonight, let us know about it. The best way to reach us is by using the voice recorder that can be found at thecanadiangothic.com/contact. Now I'm going to start wrapping up the episode, but before we part, let us thank a few people. First of all, Aaron and I want to give a big thank you to all the correspondents who contributed to this episode. If your voice message was aired on the show, go back to thecanadiangothic.com/contact and fill out the form to claim your swag pack and Keep Canada Weird badge. We'll happily get it right out to you. Next, a big shout out to Unicole for the intro and outro voiceovers, and Monty Data, who provides the outro version of O Canada that you're about to hear. And then lastly, but most importantly, we have a massive thank you to every one of you listening, as without your interest and your support, this work would be impossible. And for any one of you out there who want to support the show financially and get more out of the show at the same time, please consider the premium feed. Our premium feed subscription costs just a couple bucks a month, and that money will fund the creation of new episodes, but the premium feed will also give you those episodes early, give them to you ad-free, and give you access to a full back catalog of Keep Canada Weird episodes and bonuses. You can go premium at thecanadiangothic.com/subscribe. And even if the premium feed isn't for you, you can still support the show by simply sharing episodes on social media. That's free, and it's a big help. So until next time, take care of each other, hug your loved ones tight, and please keep Canada weird.
And keep Canada weird. Please keep Canada weird.